Hey everyone, welcome. It's Lucid, and we're going to be doing another react as another one of the round two games is now going up on YouTube. This one is being cast by the False God, so I'll have a link to the playlist in the description. He also did or casted a game I was in. I forget what the title of that series is, but I could probably put that link in the description as well. I was secretly playing Hinam in that game, and he didn't know. So that was a fun one. But yeah, you can watch that. We're going to go and watch this one. First, I'm going to show you who's in the game. So this is the player list for round two. Now, to remind you, to get in the round two games, you had to win a round one game. And these round one games were like night bites. I think you saw at least one of them get cast here on the channel. But if you didn't, then I've sort of messed up. But actually, you might not have. I probably should put one of those up. But those were really fun. And yeah, so we've got Satis being played by Salen. We've got End being played by Poulter. I know Poulter I don't want to say pretty well, but I'm familiar with them. They're well known in the community. Very good player. We've got Machaka being played by Bingji Liao. They're a good player there in the community. Janahito, you guys have seen before. Very frequently in my YouTube videos, he always has galaxy brain ideas. We have Naba being played by M. Bison. I think I've played a game with them on an alt before. Sharp Snowball, I've played a few games with, though I'm not sure they know because some of those were on alts. Phaeacia, and actually I think they were Phaeacia in one of the games I played with them. They're really good. Castle Pyrene. And then we have Kosama playing Pythium. Pythium did really, really well in round one. It's not a nation anybody kind of thought was that strong, but had like a really, really one of the best win rates in round one. And then we have Shinuyama being played by Krunbum, who, if you're on any of the Dominions Discords, you're probably familiar with him. But yeah, so this will be really fun. It's a really high skill game. Going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes down. And so what we're going to do here, We're going to listen to this, basically react to this first video, and then I'm going to put a link to the False God in the description and the playlist that this is on. And if you're into it, check out the playlist, subscribe to False God, and you can watch the rest of the series there. I'm not going to like react to all the videos as they come out, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that for each of the round two games because we're going to have all the round two games cast. So anyway, let's watch this one. This one's going to be super interesting.
Hello and welcome back to another turn of the round 2 game 8 Lucid tournament game. And I've got our Pythias with me.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, and we are jumping in on turn 3.
I'm ready to see a dragon.
Yes, we got messages, we got expansions.
Okay, one thing is I'm skipping episode 1. So in the playlist I'm going to link to, you're going to see that. The reason is, while they go over a bunch of things, I think there was one expander guide. I watched that episode. Most people didn't expand. So this will be, I think, a more fun episode for us to watch. So you get to go back and watch the first one. But they're going to be talking about some things that you're not going to have any reference to right now as we react, just because, well,
We'll go
they already
messages
recorded one.
first. Pythium, hello YouTube. Pretty happy with the cap circle? Yup, I would agree with that. Not that retarders can't deal with hard pop types, but I'll take easy ones over heavy cav any day. A special treat is the Lion Tribe for that early nature access, which I'll need for the Lars. They only need a lab, which is a nice plus over other tribe mages. And if I get lucky and roll a random, pretty much all of them are useful to me. I'm curious to see Nabaz full bless. I'm sure they have quickness and are my northern neighbor. Everybody's checking titles. So he's looking at ways to beat Quick and Janguard. Besides that, not much else to say. Hope you have fun following this one, and it'll be an entertaining game. Yeah. And I've played with this guy before. And when I think I was Phaeacia. But,
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what is blessed and if it is helpful for the Lars, because I think they're quite a big strength for Pythium.
Yeah, the Lars are pretty nice.
Yeah, and they also enjoy a similar bless to what are the angels? The Earthly angels they can get.
Virtues, maybe?
Yeah, anyway, those,
yeah.
both of those benefit from quite a similar stuff.
Yeah, no, they're an interesting one. Machaka. Did Marignon go Awake Titan Magic 3 End Tree Turn 2 Trinity Skelly Spam? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
That's such like a random big call out. Like, can you imagine? What if he's right? What if he guessed this? This is like the biggest shot in the dark guess. Like, no, we're just gonna do a Skelly spam Trinity.
That'd be
He's right there, a
exciting,
big
though.
if through. Like that was roping me in. Really, I was
That would be
excited seeing that.
a hell of a thing.
I think we would have heard something shortly.
You'd think so.
You can't keep that under wraps from the Omniscient surely.
Ooh, Phaeacia. Decent luck with the indies, but terrible luck with a turn 2 event of 43 unrest.
That's really bad. That's Illwinter basically
Does
saying
have
they
order
want you to lose the
scales
game.
and a cap site that reduces a
I'm just gonna say that should be these like turn like before turn 5 you shouldn't be able to roll like a high unrest event on your capital. It's too paralyzing. It's like bad RNG.
unrest, which is pretty.
I mean, I think you can call me an RNG crybaby about that, but I think this is a legitimate thing to rate. Not really. You should never rage quit, but this is rage quit inducing. A 43 unrest event on your cap in the first 5 turns. Whew.
Be fortunate, so that helps get rid of it. But that is rough. That is one of the biggest downsides of misfortune, right? Like, this is a thing that happens when you take misfortune.
And it hurts a lot when you get it this early on.
It really does. Okay, we have a double expand from Pythium, or potentially
Triple expand from Pythium.
Maybe a triple. I think that's another one.
Oh, is there another?
I think it
one?
must be a scalp.
So we got the Velites here.
Which is interesting.
On sparse line with Retarii on the sides. So to me, this is a group that's going to take one province and then be done. Because
Yeah,
these
there's a lot of
Retarii,
yeah.
Yeah, this I think by the way is really good for the first move, just because getting your cap circle cleared is so super high value. I think, and we saw this, and I don't think last year's, maybe it was the year before the finals. Doing this kind of expansion where you only take one province and then you're like done is not really good after the first turn. Like if you lean too hard into it, it's just too like you don't get enough momentum. You really want to have parties that keep going, and you can use some Retarii for support, but having like expendable expansion parties is not really that good in my opinion after the first turn.
are going to make it into combat, and so they're not going to be available again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how efficient it's going to be. Why do you think he's done the sparse line? Is that just to stop the commander getting snipes? Or?
Maybe. I gotta say, I don't
I think
see a
if you
lot
look-
of
if you're-
sparse line.
It's mostly for arrow fire, especially with the Retarii. If they all group up, they get hit by a lot more of the arrows. I don't know if there's any archers in this province though.
If you're going to do that, I think you just put like 5 of the gladiators on guard commander.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I mean, it's gonna help. They're not even gonna really hold their sparse line super well.
Yeah, there's no archers here, so I'm not sure. It'll be interesting. Akosuma might be
And
watching.
some
I
of
think
them
it's a
are gonna
Pythium player.
fire.
They're on fire as
I'd be
well. So the
interesting if they put in the
gladiators are getting
comments
really,
what they were thinking.
Yeah,
They're
but
all
these
gonna-
gladiators got kind of caught up. Which I don't think is really what he intended. Now, there's not much here. And Retarii are...
Yeah, no, we're being pretty negative about it. I mean, he's definitely going to like take this and everything.
Oh,
he's just going to.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a
All
lot
the
more. I'm not
gladiators.
sure if it's worth it compared to just having more of the
Like
legionaries, although it's probably the production.
I think it is worth it. For the first turn, I think it's totally worth it to do this. To double expand and have way more resources coming in, totally worth it in my opinion.
That he's doing this for.
Yeah.
I think you want to do it because like he's going to take no losses except for all the gladiators. You just want to have it do it in a way where there's a very good chance you can merge the Roman soldiers rather than the gladiators. You can merge the Roman soldiers up with another party, either the other expansion party you sent out, or guys you just recruited this turn in the capital.
I mean, I can understand, especially when you're doing a multi-expansion like this, right? Even if your group's only going to take one province, if it's like a high resource province or just getting that momentum going, I could see it working out.
Yeah, I think that using the Retaris, I think is good. I just think it could have been more efficient.
I think potentially, yeah. So he takes this, loses 3 Velites, and then obviously we don't see any Retarii, but we know that.
I mean, he already lost 3 Velites or Velites. I don't know how you say it, but These guys are shit. Velites are horrible. I mean, they're nice. They have a big shield, but they don't have very good armor. They're sort of the disposable troop you have. They don't really hold up in pitched fights, especially when they're outnumbered, but you can mass print them in like large quantities. They do well. Maybe he could have sent like 5 fewer Retarii and still won, but he would have lost more Velites. Is that worth it? Who knows? I don't think this can be done that much more efficiently. This was fine, in my opinion.
He did, in fact. You're gonna have a bunch of Retarii who have retired or earned their freedom, or however it is. Okay, we have a scout ping.
Just run away to the hills with Spartacus, don't they?
Yeah. Another easy province. I mean, we got...
I'm slightly worried. I'm hearing the music background, and I'm having PTSD of getting copyright claims on my channel for like 5 years from one video I did when I first started uploading. So yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Militia and light infantry with some archers.
Yep, that shouldn't be a problem.
I think militia have a tendency to have a wizard as their leader or some other mage that has like a bodyguard. So I wonder if that's why he chose to especially ping this province.
Yeah. And he's got another one.
Yeah, so we'll just finish him off here. So here's all of... Okay, so we've got now the LA legionaries with Velites on a flank. And then
Yeah, and the Prophet is also here as well.
That's the Prophet. Get that Sermon of Courage in. Some heavy...
I will comment, this is a little weird to me that they're using the Retarii. I think the way you position them here is you forward position the Roman troops, and you put the Velites in like a flank where the Velites aren't holding attack and the Romans are on fire. So they'll go ahead and use their javelins. And then hopefully the Velites or the Retarii come in later. These are light infantry and these are heavy infantry, so it's not like militia. I don't think these are militia, but they might be. The sprites are a little hard to read on that. But yeah, I think you try to win this one mostly off the back of the Roman troops and save the Retarii for stuff like, you know, heavy cav expansion or something.
Infantry.
Yeah, this is going to be easy though.
Looks pretty straightforward here to take this out. This one, he's in a regular line. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the logic is on this sparse line of the other one.
Yeah, and this is also regular line into archers, which would be the time you would really consider sparse line, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm just...
Yeah, I just don't know.
100% sure why.
And these big shields are going to go like... So again, he's going to let the gladiators just get right in there. So he's trying to preserve these lives, and he's saying, yes, I'm going to lose 100% of these gladiators, pretty much.
Yep, well, if he's tested it and it works, I mean...
Yeah. I think it definitely is going to limit attrition amongst his legionaries, so... I get it. He does...
I think it's not worth it to sacrifice the 10 Retarii. I think you would have won with like maybe 2 more attrition. I don't know. That's my opinion. But what do I know? I'm not like a Pythium expert by any means.
Lose 3 legionaries still, and probably all the Retarii are going to go ahead and bail.
Yep. Successful double expand though. He got a big farm on there as well, so...
yes. We didn't check the bless.
Oh.
Shock res, poison res, fire res,
That was them, by the way, not me and not you.
Undying, HP, Enchanted Blood, Swamp Survival, Hello Satis, and Unaging. You must have an old mage.
Yeah, you do. You're big mages.
Oh, that's right. Yep, the big mage is old. I remember. So a lot of resistances, really nice. Everything but cold. And then Undying and Enchanted Blood goes a long way to make your sacred mages hang on.
Yeah, I think this is a bless that kind of works decently for every, like all your summons and your like recruitable sacred guys and your mages and everything. No, that would have been pretty nice. Yeah, something like that. But I think, you know, everything is going to be pretty decent with this.
I think this is primarily for the communion slaves and the mages. You're going to be walking around like in the mid game with like 20 of the Therod communicants, and you really don't want them getting like nukes by foul vapors and stuff. So I think this is mostly for that. But yeah, the Undying's really good on them, etc. But
yeah, Enchanted Blood Undying is, I think, pretty popular nowadays. I wonder how many of those we'll see.
Yeah, I think it works pretty well. He hasn't taken it for this, but I think it works pretty well as a sort of poison resistance. Usually counteracts that at a decent rate.
Good point. All right, Peren. has got his starting army, plus he was able to recruit 2 of his Emerald Knights. I'm sure we'll see them get blessed up here. And he's got attack, 15 shock res, 5 poison res, 5 fire res, and heroism. So
What do you?
We know what this means, right, boys? This is Wrathful Skies. This is what he's broadcasting to everybody. So he's like, I'm going to cast Wrathful Skies. I'm going to rush it, and I'm going to win all my battles with that. That's how I read it. I like it. It's pretty cool.
Your thoughts on this, Ben? You've got a game on the channel with these.
I do.
I think, haven't you?
I like a lot of parts of it. I think shock res is huge for the nation. I think you absolutely want to take shock res. I think I didn't take it in my first game, and I definitely regret that.
This much, or is this
No,
too much?
This is a lot. I mean, I like it could work.
This makes it where this is actually the exact amount where you don't take damage from lightning strikes. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good amount. Like if you did 10, it's going to take the edge off, but it's going to feel bad when you get gym baited. And like if you're casting Wrathful Skies every single fight and they're gym baiting you and you're Wrathful Skying your own army, that's not going to feel that good. But if you have 15 shock res, you basically don't care. Like there will still be some chip damage that gets through, but with only like 10 shock res, you'll have more than chip damage get through. You'll have like big hits get through.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. This is a lot of shock res because you do have easy access to adding another 5 from spells. And I don't know exactly how much the difference is between 15 and 20 when you're dealing, particularly Wrathful Skies, I think is the main thing you're after. The problem, of course, being that most of your fighting mages aren't sacred, so you're going to need to go ahead and come up with shock resistance solutions for them anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of resistances.
The mages, if they have air, you can I forget what the Pyrene mages are exactly, but you can just cast shock resistance if you're doing a Wrathful Skies play.
This is a strong unit. Like, it's a very good heavy cav unit. It is not a Knight of Avalon. I don't know, like, this is a lot of resistances with very little extra stats or killiness.
This, I think the other way to think of this is like a mid-game bless. And it's especially a mid-game bless because you're putting this bless on cavalry. And by the time you get in the late game, these cavalry with their mounts having like low MR are just like a huge fucking liability. I forget what let me look it up. I know that I think the mounts for LA, let me just check what it is. I think for LA Pyrene, they're better. But let me look here for MA Pyrene. Yeah, I guess I'll hit play while I'm doing it.
Yeah, and importantly, I think no MR to sort of take it into the late game anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind that as much.
You think that's just not possible anyway?
Okay, so the Knights have their Emerald Knights and the mount. The base guy has 10 MR and the mounts have 6. So Beast Mastery comes out, you're fucked. Like, these guys can't do anything. It's like, oh, but we cast Wrathful Skies. It's like, yeah, your Wrathful Skies will kill me in 10 turns, but I've routed your whole army in, like, 1 turn. Like, these guys are illegal in the late game, basically. This is one of the things I just don't really like about the mount change. I think it's kind of just annoying. Like, it's kind of interesting, you know? It would be fine, I think, if when you stole the mount with Beast Mastery, if you just, like, yeah, it's going to hurt you that turn. You lose your mount, but you get your mount back next turn. But now it's like, your guys are dead. I think this is the part of Dominion 6 I probably like the least, even though it was probably like the part that was hardest for them to do. Anyway, that being said, the way to think about this bless, not that good in the early game. You don't really need shock res in the early game. Very good in the mid game. Sort of bad in the late game.
You know, does it not?
I think it doesn't matter that much because, you are already at an MR deficit, so it's sort of like trying to fill a weakness that's going to be hard to fill. But also,
I agree. You have to go really hard into MR to make this thing work. It's like your MR fucking sucks. It's really bad. And it's not going to be something you can fix by like doing 2 MR. That, I think you're just trying to like, it's like by the time people are doing Beast Mastery at your army and you're trying to fix it by like having +2 MR on your mounts, it's like your boat has like a huge like foot size hole in it, and you're like trying to like hold it closed with your hands. It's not going to work.
So you just have the best demons, like the best access to demons in the age.
True.
And some of the best access to demons in the game. And so I think you're probably going to be transitioning out of your sacred and into a mostly demonic army as the really late game comes around anyway.
So, with that being the case, do you think resistances are the right way to go, or do you think you just want early power for while you really want to be using these guys?
So my thoughts on Brett, I'm excited to see what he does here and see how it goes differently. My thoughts are I want to take a decent amount of stats so I can use the Emeral Knights to win my first war, and then fast research up essentially to Wrathful Skies. And so I want shock resistance on them because I'm still going to have them around while Wrathful Skies is like my big play. But then after that Wrathful Skies sort of timing, I think I'm pretty much on to demons, and these guys are just not going to be a huge part of my game anymore. They already have 5 fire resistance.
100% agree. I think that's the perfect take. I think that's the way to do it. And I think he's pointing out a weakness in this, which is it's too mid-game focused. And it's like, that Wrathful Skies timing is nice. I over-focus on it some, but I think the risk of this is that with this particular nation is that you're going to be switching to demons anyway. And on top of that, like if you just switch to demons, you're not getting much value out of the bless. But if you switch to demons and you have these cav, the cav are becoming useless. Like normally, if these were like foot soldiers, you could keep using them into the late game as just high shock res troops and still do Wrathful Skies, because Wrathful Skies is nice all game. But as the game goes on in the late game, like these guys aren't, So anyway, perfect read, I think, from the False God.
So adding 5 more is putting it to 10, and then you can cast, fire resistance to up to 15. But 10 is probably going to serve you pretty well for what you need these guys for. Poison resistance is fine, but I think you'd be better. Your acrobelts can already do poison resistance, and I think you might be better off with Enchanted Blood Undying, something like that. Although obviously that costs more than 5 poison resistance, but
I personally like the 5 poison resistance. I think it's more interesting maybe to do like 10 chakras. I mean, 15 is cool too, but I like this part of the bless. I think the fire resistance, I don't think it's going to matter that much. And I think it would be maybe, I don't know. Like, I think the way he's playing, he's going to have to be playing largely scales. Like, these guys aren't really going to carry him, and for him to like win fights against blessed nations, he's going to need like a lot of good scales troops. So it's going to be really interesting. But then it's like the scales troops do not combine well with the Wrathful Skies strategy. So yeah, because like these guys, you're not going to put the nation on the back of your sacreds and win with a bless like this in the early game. And in the mid game, you're only going to do it with Wrathful Skies. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me, but I tend to lean with like our Phaeacia that if you want your sacreds to carry you through the early and mid game, you need more stats, which would probably mean spending more on the bless in general.
So it's not necessarily what I would do, but I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I think we're just kind of picking this part a little bit more because I'm also in a game as Marignon, and so I think we're a little bit more familiar, and we've tried to think through this more ourselves. But then, I'm not saying this won't work. I mean,
and who knows, right? Maybe there's something dormant or in prison that we don't even know about yet. This is not a ton of points, right? This is what, 4, 10, 14, 15 points? It's pretty low. So let's see what he gets up to. So the Knights got themselves split. Which looks
I've
fine.
found that these spearmen kill a lot more than I expect them to.
Not when they're getting shot by their own guys.
Which probably doesn't jinx this, but
this Knight's already taken a bunch of damage.
I think it's just his
mount,
gun. Yeah. I think he got a limp though, the absolute bane of cavalry when you're expanding.
Yeah. Now this is a pretty easy province. I think it's gonna be okay, but looks like he's got them on the run. Okay, he took care of that. Lost 4 spearmen, one of which was friendly fire. But, what are you going to do? Is this going to be our dragon?
Oh, fingers crossed. Yes.
Is Nature
Green dragon.
8.
That's
It's a straight regen.
Incarnate regen, yep.
This is kind of interesting to me because I think middle-aged... This is, I think, a cool bless for them. For a few reasons. One is middle-aged Satis gets pretty good troops. They get the... Let me see if I can pull this out here. They get... Let's see, middle-aged Satis... It's like I'm blind. Okay, so they get 2 different sacreds. They get these guys who are basically like Anakites, and they get these guys. And I think with the changes that were made to cold-blooded, I think it's much more viable now to like really look at leaning into the sacreds. Like, I don't know, the Satis troops in general, I feel like cold-blooded really, really hurt them. And now that you can use these guys without maybe being quite as worried about cold-blooded, these are Anakite tier. Like, they've got 2 attacks, one of which being a huge fucking halberd. And then these guys aren't great, but they're fine. And they both have really good protection. So I think a regen bless on them is like really interesting and pretty good. And they also have poison resistance. So with the regen added into them, they're like completely immune to poison. Like, they'll time out the battle with foul vapors up and be totally fine. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a cool bless. The other thing that it does sort of open up is you have sacred, these guys, the shamans. So they're not priests, but they're sacred. And you can start doing like turbo communion kind of things with them. They have a pretty good amount of hit points. You enlarge them. Maybe you even put one of the HP boosting items on them. And yeah, they regen a fair amount per turn, especially when you can do personal regen and regen. So you can have, I don't know, I mean, we could do the math real quick. I think with enlarge, it's going to get him up to like 16 hit points. Ilwinter just did a change. I think it was before this game or after this game started, but they made it where there's not like breakpoints anymore for the regen. Like, you don't need to worry about like 11 HP giving you 2 regen, whereas 10 HP gives you 1. You get like a lot of mini breakpoints now. So you're basically going to have regen of like a, I don't know, like a 19 HP unit, 17 HP unit. So it's like 1.7 a turn. But then multiplied by 2, so like 3.5. So you basically could probably turbo communion with like 4 masters, maybe 5, and burn it a little hot. But yeah, but like definitely like 4 masters. That's kind of cool. That's like a pretty cool little thug size thing. So you could have, I'm trying to think what you would do. Because usually when you do turbo communions, you only want like 2 slaves. So you could do like 2 slaves, 4 masters. Especially if you do Light of the Northern Star, that would then get them all up to Astral 3. So that's kind of interesting. I think like Clam of Pearls, Light of the Northern Star, 2 slaves, 4 masters. With this bless, they could do Soul Slay all, for forever, right? So you could also put up Hal potentially. You do Power of the Spheres, Hal. That's like, for 6 mages, that's an extremely powerful counter rating squad. So anyway, kind of cool. We'll go back to what they're saying now.
Okay. And yeah, he went for personal regen. So he's got 20% regen. That's going to do pretty well against just about everything. Although I will say again, at 18 prot, 150, even with 20% regen, you might get killed by enough barbs.
You could.
Regen does not matter much for barbs. It's just not, especially with this lower protection, it's not the best stat. Yeah, with barbs, you're probably really relying on the poison breath.
It's not. Oh, there's a lot of heavy.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen here. I think his poison breath is gonna be pretty nice.
I think it is gonna be pretty nice. Oh, plus 28's a lot. And the stat debuff's gonna go a long way here.
I wasn't
He
even
doesn't
the
care.
max it could have
The
been.
dragon doesn't give a fuck.
Okay.
He's eating the lance charge. I think
he's fine.
I think he's gonna be okay. We'll have to check to see if he got an affliction.
Yeah, the thing you worry about with this is afflictions. I really wish... Maybe I should ask Ilwinter to create a tag for it. But Capital Recuperation was a good idea for mod. There were a few bugs with it that... I don't know. I don't know if I've fully ported it to 6, but maybe we consider doing the finals with it. But Capital Recuperation's the shit. Because it kind of sucks having to take Recuperation just for your god to like use it. because gods are fun and it's fun to use gods, but it's not fun to get afflictions on your god. But then giving gods recuperation everywhere, which is like what DE did, I think is too much. But then, like for me, I'd be like, oh fuck, I really want to take recuperation on this, and then I probably would talk myself into it and not have a fucking cool regen bless. So anyway, capital recuperation choice, beautiful.
In there though, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, he looks okay.
No, I guess actually the high regen does make it less likely. I think
It does. It does make it less likely. Now I wonder. We'd have to go check. I wonder what his magic scale is, because you can research enchantments
neutral
for personal
magic.
regen with just neutral magic, which he does have. So he could have done that. Now the tricky part is you can't script it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you guys are still. So what I did, I was running a lion and I wanted to have personal regen up for a turn 1 expand. So you just have him cast a couple times, and he will use, at least the lion would do it. You'd have to, I think you want to check for your particular chassis to make sure that the spell logic hasn't decided to do something crazy.
Yeah, I think it would be more likely though, because you've only got nature, you haven't got the fire power.
Yeah, you do cast. It's going to cast it every time. There's not really much to worry about. The only thing is if you have like a ton of paths, you might not know which thing it casts off script. That's when you need to test. But for like a nature dragon, there's not even anything to test. You just figure out how many nature enchantment spells there are, and you make sure you do cast that many times. It's always going to cast it.
Assuming there's
Right.
celestial.
I would think it'd be pretty
No.
likely, but
Yeah.
who knows? We've got, oh, of course, regen. So some elite warriors.
This is, by the way, the cursed Satis army. This army always gets fucking stomped. It's funny.
Some city guard and some light infantry. So pretty garbage
The regen,
stuff.
do you think? I think the regen is also pretty potentially quite nice on your lizard shamans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You okay? And maybe the big Sobek sacred guys. Could
Yeah.
maybe consider using them.
Yeah, they'll get a lot of good use out of it. It's really nice.
And
for
I think you just need the
lizards.
normal scales sacred Sobek guys, not the sacred that you cap, because
Yeah. The
I think that's totally reasonable too, especially with like a bless that doesn't add killiness. Like the fact that you're adding like a super tanky guy who can live 20 rounds in combat doesn't really matter when you're mixing them in with a scales army as much. So I think first turn it makes sense to add these guys, and then you probably want to do the Sobeks in their own party where they just outlast the
with
enemy.
regeneration as part of your bless, the lizards can do the lizard shamans can definitely set up some turbo communions, pretty hefty turbo communions.
Oh yeah,
Without
definitely.
a ton of investment and with paths that
I swear,
Satis has
guys, I didn't
access to.
pre-watch this.
Yeah.
All right, so there wasn't too much here. Looks like they've gone ahead and chopped their way through. They did lose 11 guys. Yeah, mostly to the archers, but lizard life. Let's see if we get a lightning bolt. Oh, maybe 2 lightning bolts. Oh no,
Big
this
commitment for
is just a
first.
regular guy.
Ah,
so
okay.
enlarged? He's larger. That's what got me.
Hmm.
With poison resistance and cold resistance, and larger. Interesting.
It's a kind of strange bless.
So Phaeacia,
Interestingly, I think we've only seen one nation with swamp survival so far.
yep. Nobody respecting statistics. There's the lightning bolt. Zap. These guys have made their way to the back line. Routed in the center. Looks like they're in pretty good shape here. Okay. Phaeacia takes that one, loses just 500 humans.
Do you think he needed the storm captain there? I'm not. Against Lion Tribe, I would think.
It depends where he went, right? The Storm Captain's the only one who's going to sail him around, I think, right? Because this guy's got a small max size.
Okay. Oh, well, we'll have to have a
Although
look
I
then.
think actually, yeah. So I'll have to see. We can check where he went. But no, it didn't really look like the Storm. Oh, no, I don't want to view it. It didn't look like he was too necessary for this battle. Okay, he did not need a sail. But he may be necessary for the next thing. Although, again, sailing does help mitigate that. And their map move, I think, is not great. Because I think they have a lot of armor on. Oh, no, 18. I take it back.
Yeah, 18's pretty good, actually. I guess they're giants on this. So.
The Bless is curious because you're putting your Colossi, these two are your only sacred mages, besides obviously your priest. And the Orichalcum Guard is pretty resource expensive. A lot of magic equipment, which is nice, but that Bless isn't making him like insane. On the other hand, you have access to hammers and a forge bonus on your Weaver, so you can put 2 gem shrouds on people, which is pretty nice. So
honestly, I think that
Yeah.
that's something I would definitely be looking to do.
Yeah, probably has that in mind.
I'm kind of wondering the resistances because I feel like Pythium's more. Well, they might be thinking like some of the cloud effects. I'm definitely not a Pythium expert, but like some of the different cloud effects can be really strong. So maybe that's sort of their plan, is to do like freezing mists or whatever. I can't remember all the name of the clouds, but maybe that's the reason. Because I was like, I kind of expected them more to go like shock resistance, but they went cold and poison. Maybe like sulfur haze or something for the poison resistance. I don't know.
Just a question about the mechanics. I don't know if you want to know. He's got larger, and you have a maximum size for sailing. Does that mean he won't be able to sail some things as easily, or?
I don't think it matters because I believe these guys are normally size 4, and they go up to size 5, and he can still sail size 5.
Okay.
So he's good to go. He does not have like Baratos has that problem where they have maximums of size 4, and then if you take larger, they go to size 5, and you suddenly can't sail them anymore.
Yeah, that looked like it said 4 there. No, but I don't know if it just changed.
Did I look at it wrong? Max size 5. That's the used size points.
Oh, used size. Okay. Perfect. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. And then also, I think if you have the dark sails, right, if you're in their dominion, it'll be different.
Yeah, they can do anything, can't they? Yeah.
Yeah. But for when you're not in dominion. All right, Machaka with 2 expos. Surely we'll see the big guy in one of them. We got the spiders are.
Guys, Machaka is fun in Dominion 6. Middle-aged Machaka, they got some nice tune-ups. I think they're such a good nation in Dominion 6 now. They may not scale the hardest, but they have a ton of cool things they can do. I think they are super fun now. I love the changes Illwinter made to these guys. I think they're great.
Are immediately berserking out there, trying to draw attention.
The other thing worth mentioning is some nations got better, like just from the mount changes, some nations got better, some got worse. Machaka got better. Like the heavy cav, like they have now, made their cav way better. So
Away from the rest of this fairly low quality Machaka troops. Taking good advantage of that.
So one thing y'all didn't see in the first episode is Machaka has a bronze Colossus with, I think, a regen fire shield and maybe like something else in their bless. So these guys are gonna be fucking crazy. They're so good.
These guys, do you think?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have plus
They look
6
pretty cool there with
regen.
that fire shield. Yeah, they're vibing.
Yeah, they have the fire shield. A lot of these guys all kind of skip them.
Yeah, they might route before they reach, but
Yeah, there goes the heavy infantry. I think they're on fire and keep distance.
yeah.
I think that actually makes sense here. Like, because he didn't put all of them on it, that would have been a huge mistake. But these guys are on fire with their javelin. These are on fire and keep distance. You really don't want these guys in melee.
Which I like, but
Oh, this guy, the big spiders are routed.
The spiders routed.
That's there. It looks like there may have been on a squad of 2.
He put them in a squad by themselves. Oof. Whoops.
So
right.
that's
Yeah.
One thing I think you can do is you just put them in with these guys and you put these guys on fire. And these guys, since they don't have anything to fire, will like run forward. And then these guys will shoot. So they'll still be in the front. They won't be quite as spaced out as they were here, but that fucking sucks.
what happens. And they get perfectly capable of killing their own leader, I think, in retreat.
He dodged by the way there.
I think
He's
that's
to lose
triple
both of
to
them
that.
from the expansion party, though, which is going to be pretty painful.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy just having them in 2, I think. I mean,
Yeah, it seems like you could have put them with the archers and put them on fire, and they can't fire. They don't have range weapons. They'd run it anyway. But
Look, I'm trying to do value add commentary, but literally everything I say, he's stealing it from me and saying it right afterwards. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe-
although we did them on fire and keep distance, which
He-
I think
he
maybe
did.
you just have them with the warriors and just put them on
Yeah.
holding
that too.
fire, and I think that would probably.
Yeah. On the other hand, he's got his god coming out here. Sulfur Haze right off, going up some evocation here. Oh my god. This is
Oh, that was brutal.
disgusting
Oh.
shockwave.
Like, can you imagine bumping this guy?
Oh my goodness. The carnage.
I feel like you take
I
this guy
imagine
from
there's
your
been a
god
lot of
and you
discussion.
just like fucking drive him around, and wherever you go, you're gonna take that province. Like, you just beeline towards some enemy, set whatever border you want with them. They like maybe get pissed at you, but what are they gonna do? Nobody's gonna be like, oh, let's fight this bronze colossus. I mean, they might if they have like a high number of attack. Like if Machaka had an unholy weapons blessed, they might be into it. But otherwise, like the vast majority of nations are gonna be like, okay, yeah, you take that. Just please be peaceful. Let's sign a NAP 10.
On what the optimum sort of build is and scales and bless. And I like that this guy's just got this thing.
He just got the head turn.
Yeah.
Very nice. Let's just look real quick. So he did decide to go outwards.
Yeah,
although
pretty conservative, I would say. I
Yeah.
think I would be more aggressive with this guy.
yeah, this is one that's really sort of within his sphere of influence anyway.
Yeah.
And didn't elect to go for any.
What if he attacks this? Galaxy Brain play just starts taking all the fucking thrones, claims them because you get the gym income nice and early, starts spreading your dominion. I don't know what this is. Like you can kind of usually tell by the type, like what kind of mages are going to be there. But I think with this bless, he doesn't give a fuck. I think especially if he's doing Sulfur Haze, Shockwave, and that sort of thing, there's a very good chance he can just fucking walk right into this throne. I think if you do that, though, you probably want to go swamps first. Go ahead and set that boundary, that border. But, yeah, right here doesn't have a ton of good moves.
Does this guy have aquatic at all? Okay, no, he is not aquatic, so he couldn't go in the lake. But he probably could have gone for at least one.
Yeah, I think I would grab that Plains province near Pythium.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, well, I got 2 out of 3 of our border, and you're happy. You can take the lake later. Good luck. But not what he went for. He did go ahead and pick up this plains, which is, decent population. A bunch of... Okay, I take it back. It's 2 sites, 1 gem. That's overly excited.
Old Norman village. But actually, still kind of nice to get in that lake.
Yeah, and he's
going
to get both of these, and there's only like 10 shamblers here, so lets him get good access to that.
Yeah, is that a library just above
I hope we get to see the Quickness bless.
that lake there?
Was it what?
Is that a library? Is that...
No, the halfway in.
No. Okay.
All right, are we gonna see the Quickness bless that everyone has foretold? Yes, we are. Yeah. All right, it's time for the race cars. See how we do. This is a big bless for Naba.
I like this bless a bit. I do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I'm here for it.
It's definitely exciting. Although a bunch of them...
The only problem is I think they have sort of high encumbrance. I think it was like 6 or something, if I'm remembering, which is a bit high with Quickness, but it's okay. I mean, these guys do suffer from like not enough attacks, and they don't have great stats. This sort of... I mean, Quickness is just good in general, but they also... Nabat has really good thugs, which are sacred, so they certainly enjoy it there too. The thugs are more like mage thugs. They're like casting spells, shockwave, and then buffing themselves up a ton. You sort of want the reinvigoration. And reinvigoration and quickness are at like opposite ends of the spectrum. But if you put like a lifesteal item on them, which you can't really do easily as Naban until you break into blood, and that's not really easy. But if you do manage it, then it becomes again really good on the mages. So I think it's kind of interesting. Like it kind of is like anti-synergy with the mages until you have life drain, because you really need reinvigoration, not quickness. But certainly cool in the troops.
I mean, or maybe just one of them is not quite fighting yet, but yeah, we can go ahead and take them out. Take them out. They've raced to the back line.
Yep. So my thoughts on this are that I mean, quickness is just strong. It makes everything, well, maybe not everything, but it definitely makes the Vanguard, very good. I'm not sure what it helps you beat as opposed to what you can do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think early game it helps you beat everything. Like, it's really good. It's really, really good. I think the other way to think about it is it front loads a lot of offensive power. And like, if you think about how it synergizes with the Vanguard, the Vanguard are really good when they still have their glamour images up, which that's going to go down. Like you're going to lose images as a function of combat time and as a function of your defense. So quickness adds defense. And then he also has +1 quick, +1 defense bless. And then like at some point you're going to run out of fatigue, but you would rather do that sooner in the fight with these guys, because the later portion of the fight, they're lower value because they've lost like their mirror images. So the way I think about it, this is actually really good on them because it front loads a lot of their utility when they're also very not likely to die. So I think if you're like, what does this help you beat? I think it helps you beat archers, anybody doing an archer thing, anybody doing scales troops, it's hugely useful against. You're like, okay, is it good against Machaka? Let's think about like Machaka with their bless. They have regen and fire shield. Well, I think Vanguard have fire resistance and they have some protection. So it probably makes them at least twice as good against the spiders. And even more than that, because by front loading the damage, you're more likely to break through the regen. That might not be a good matchup for them though. But yeah, I don't know. Seems good to me. I mean, I'm not sure I would pick it, but I like it.
I'm not sure your expansion is going to be like that much better because I think you have good expansion anyway. It may be put people off wanting to fight you in an early war, which could be quite useful. But there's probably other things you could take for that as well.
I want to somewhat disagree. I think having, like, if you rely too much, especially in a higher skill game like this one's going to be, if you rely too much on the camel rider guys, you're going to get boned. And if you rely too much on the Avite soldiers, maybe that's not what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. I think you also sort of get boned. Like, they are really nice. I think it's good to have different threat vectors, and I think this definitely changes the Vanguard into being like a full-fledged, real different threat vector. So,
yeah, I'm not sure, but people are wanting to fight.
The other thing is, if we look at the scales, they have pretty fine scales. It looks like they took one. They might have gone death. I think this gives you some growth, so they probably maxed out death, and then they have like basically neutral production scales, so they're able to, they've got pretty good order in turmoil, and sloth. So order and productivity, they're neutral. And then one magic scale. Like, this is not completely tanking their scales. So they're going to be able to still make a lot of troops. So I think this is like a very high flexibility build. Like, they have made the Vanguard something special and very useful, but they haven't like sacrificed. They're not all in on them. It's just like they've made the Vanguard a special tool. And I like the tool that they've made. You can also see here they did Statue of Beginnings. So this isn't a mobile. So
you in an early war, which could be quite useful, but there's probably other things you could take for that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think the jury's still out.
I think it's interesting. I have a hard time believing it's optimal, but I think it's interesting. Over
This
here,
is the Emeral one.
poison resistance.
this is a Dominion 6+ here. Poison resistance, blur, enchanted blood. We don't see Undying, which is a bit weird. Normally you would see that comboed here, and Undying would be really good on these guys. Righteous Wrath, super good on spammable humans. Swamp Survival for killing Satis, and and Heroism. Blur's just sort of a cheap 2 defense.
Blur, enchanted blood, righteous wrath, swamp.
Strangely, the thing I sort of like least is Enchanted Blood, but This could end up being pretty useful for like the bitch mothers who have basically for the blood mages.
Survive. There's just swamp survival, and 175 heroism.
Yeah, I think Swarm Survival you really want on the end because if your Sacreds can't fight, then
Yeah,
you're extremely vulnerable early on, at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, Righteous Wrath I think helps a lot with the human damage output.
Yep. It is interesting to see Enchanted Blood without any Undying.
Yeah, and not on a great sort of like.
I shouldn't talk.
It's not like they've got lots of HP to be protecting either.
Right. So kind of interesting.
But it also gives you the MR, so
Yeah.
you'd probably pay 2 points for that. So
yeah, and a ton of heroism.
Yeah, these guys are gonna have some
That's a
crazy
ton of
stuff.
heroism.
So let's see what they're up to. Get the Cheat of Fate right off the bat here.
One thing that I think is usually optimal is he's got the archers shooting. Usually you want them going in with the main army.
Yeah, they're gonna go right through the tribe, although taking a lot of losses back here.
Yeah. Although the Enchanted Blood might be
It
being
is
helpful
helping. Yeah.
in the archery battle.
Yeah, that's true.
But did it, like
Still
healing?
lost 6
Yeah, they already lost most of them. Yeah.
Plus a soldier priest. So that one already. And we've got Shinuyama, who's got an eclectic mix.
Yeah, we've got all the species of goblin represented here.
Yeah, Bakemono, Bakemono, Dai Bakemono. A lot of Bakemono.
Yeah, going with these sword-wielding Bakemono opposed to the archers.
He has.
They are slightly better. They have a little bit more attack, I think. Well, a bit more defense.
Yeah.
Slightly more strength.
I think people often do tend to go for the archer one and then actually just plan to have them fight in melee, right? Or am I thinking?
Yeah, I think so. But I could see for like your first expansion, it may be being slightly better.
Yeah.
One thing that's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch this game if nothing else, just to watch Krun. He's been, for those of you who don't know, Krun's been kicked off most of the Dominion's discords. He has very strong opinions, and he will keep those opinions long after they've been proven to be incorrect. But he thinks about them hard, and maybe half the time he has really good ideas. So you just have to be sure to not do everything he says, because half the times it's bad ideas. But for the half they're good, they're really good. So Shinuyama is a super interesting nation too. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Krun plays this.
I'm going to go ahead and run into some pretty generic enemies here. I think that they look like they're...
Yeah, and all the troops hitting at pretty much the same time, and
Yeah.
those few armored Bakuman at the back, not quite getting there
Yeah.
in
Did a-
sync,
did a
but
pretty
pretty
good
good,
job.
I think.
Yeah. We do not see any profit.
That is a really cool thing. The weighting mechanics really change Shinuyama and Dominion 6. Like, it's so cool that the big units wade through the small ones to get to the front. I feel like it's not only cool in that it makes them stronger and like you can do more cool stuff, but I feel it also really makes like the vibe of the nation better. Like, you have these huge ogres basically wading through goblins. I think it dramatically makes the vibe of them better. So it's super cool.
I believe that this player is a proponent of profiting his scout and then preaching his capital. We do have Bakemono routing.
Yeah, they honestly, they cannot be the unarmored guys. They just can't wait.
Yeah, a morale of 9. Let's see if they get off the field. Because he has won the battle.
They're going to get off.
Oh, they made it.
Yeah.
Look, that's just par for the course, okay? That's you have to plan on this. Honestly, it's almost worth just having Bakemono chiefs in every province to pick up the ones that run. That's just part of the game.
So they all routed, but otherwise didn't lose any of the Dai Bakemono, only 2 of the O Bakemono. Probably pretty good to help. This is right a scales expansion, so he's obviously really going to appreciate any capital provinces to get that all underway.
Yeah, just some kind of mountain. You could recruit some more Bakemono.
It was not.
You did get that. Okay.
Yeah, interesting choice. He did go for the plains. This was, I think, the easiest province. Didn't go for the mountain here or this high.
The good thing is for the first turn, the Bakemono retreated back to the capital. So not that big of a deal.
Higher resource forest. I did say that I tried not to read the chat, but there was a lot of complaining about the low resource counts around his capital.
There's going to be a lot of complaining every game.
Which they are.
It's like if you don't roll the perfect start, it's just like
There are a lot of low resource counts. We'd have to compare to everybody to see how. Well, they're definitely already lower than this guy's, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, that 26,000 farmland looks pretty nice, though.
It is. It doesn't got a lot of resources, but it's got a lot of money.
Yeah,
So,
and I think it's got a forest and a highland, so it's
yeah. I think it maybe is a detriment early, but stuff these high pop provinces, if he can sort of get off the ground, even with potentially a lower resource amount, he's gonna be in really good shape.
yeah.
being across the lake from Marignon's a little annoying. That's something that like really catches my eye. These guys can sail. I'm not sure who's to his south again, but if he has another sailing nation to his south, then that would be also like extremely annoying, like getting sailed into from both nations.
And last battle for the turn, Marignon. Spicy
Another one
Bless.
that's going to be very
Oh
important.
boy.
There's a list.
Withering
weapons.
weapons. Hello.
Look at that.
All right, we got withering weapons. We've got shock, poison, fire. Amusingly enough, no one has taken cold resistance. MR +2, undying 8, disease resistance 80, so that is strong blood, enchanted blood, righteous wrath, and dark vision. All right, so
Okay,
he's
so
taking.
real question.
I hope this is a flagellant bless. I think it might be. The righteous wrath, it's sort of a key, keys you off to it. I'm trying to think of withering weapons. It's obviously nice on flagellants, just because if somebody's running at you with like some like elite troop thing, and the elite troops could just be like Daibakemono, and you're just covering them in withering weapons. Like, yeah, okay, you killed a bunch, like 500 gold of flagellants, but all your elite troops are now dead, and it could be like 2,000 gold. So you can set up some pretty interesting trades with this. I certainly, unless I had like mass archer spam or something, probably wouldn't want to fight something like this with that. But this looks like a flagellant bless, and there were a few people that won round 1 games with flagellant blesses, and those games looked super fucking cool. So I would love to see if he actually... Let me tell you how the flagellant bless works a little bit. Like, obviously you bless flagellants, but what it really means is you build temples in every single province you think you can protect, and all you do is you make flagellants. That's basically it. And you just cover the world, and the whole goal is to turn all of your money into flagellants. And then you take people's stuff, and then you don't have to like build forts or really worry about infrastructure. I mean, you can build some because you want some research. But you take land, the land generates money, the money you turn into temples, and the temples you turn more money into flagellants. And it is a machine that you can spin up very quickly. This looks like that. The game is going to be worth watching just to see a flagellant bless play out.
Is because of the nature of Marignon, do you think this is a bless that's...
By the way, also you fight Machaka, they're marching those elite spiders in. Oh, they've got fire shield. Oh, they've got like, regeneration, all these things. It doesn't matter when your max age is 50 or 60 and you're getting decay put on you and you're dead anyway. It doesn't matter.
Sort of deals with all problems until, I don't know, year 3, for instance.
Till year 3? I think this bless is going a long way. It's got a lot of MR. These are going to be some really tanky knights.
I think it goes a long way, but does it deal with all those problems? Because you can't really get like alternatives online very quickly as Marignon.
I think this is good into most problems. I think that an early like Machaka could be a problem, although withering weapons might do a good job versus the spiders.
Here's the other thing, is this could be a Cav Bless. The other trademark of a Cav Bless is Enchanted Blood and Undying, though this is also kind of nice on Flagellants. It's possible this is a mix. You make the Cav out of your like forts, because they're recruit anywhere fort unit, and then you make the Flagellants out of temples. So it's not exactly an either or, but you can choose like, oh, this Bless isn't good on Flagellants. Let's just turn all our money not into temples to make flagellants, but into forts with temples to make knights.
But I would expect these knights to hold their own pretty darn well.
Yeah, I like the Righteous Wrath. I actually think this could be pretty good on the flagellants.
You're doubling their HP.
Yeah, and then the Righteous Wrath is going to mean they'll actually like
deal a lot of
be able to
damage.
do a decent amount of damage.
You're definitely going to bring some flagellants to make sure you're triggering Righteous Wrath.
Yeah.
But this doesn't strike me as a flagellant bless. Maybe the
I
withering
think it
weapons.
is.
I just like all the resistances and stuff to me are
The resistances are to keep you from getting cheesed. Like the flagellant bless, by turn 40, you're running around with like 1,000 flagellants, right? You don't want somebody to foul vapors and kill you, or firestorm and kill them all.
more of a night
No,
bless.
I don't think that's like the first consideration, but I think it will be actually like pretty decent on them.
Yeah. Some dark vision as well actually goes a long way. You do have, I think they have Astrofire, right?
Yep.
So you can do solar eclipse, which can give you a stat leader for people who haven't got access to dark vision.
Yep, and there's also quite a lot of caves on this around the place.
Yep.
I mean, I was asking the question. I do actually quite like it. But I'm pretty partial to an imprisoned.
I do love me some
Cool.
stats.
Yeah.
Okay. And looks like this has been already over. Was not too much here. He loses nothing. So there were only 24 guys, but win's a win. So everybody successful in their first go around. Machaka off to an early province lead with their awake. Maybe looking to catch up with their awake.
Yep, I think the only issues were, I think the Machaka spiders running away,
He did.
because they could have also died in the retreat, which would be pretty painful.
That would they're pretty likely to do so, as they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provinces.
Yep, I think it's also determined by your morale.
It is.
I'm not quite sure what the morale is, but yeah. And then also we saw a lot of Bakemono run away, didn't we? Which
We did.
is unfortunate. But I think that expansion party might be able to go into some weak province.
Yeah, if
There's
there's,
one
if
nearby.
there's a likely target. I still gonna take a little while for me to learn where everybody's at.
Okay, they're going to talk for a bit more, but this episode's already in an hour, so we'll cut it short here. I will say this is definitely one I'm going to watch. Seems like a super fun game. If you missed the earlier announcement, Darkside Cookies also is casting. I forget which game number it is, but that's also ongoing. So if you're wanting to watch all the tournament games, make sure to check that out. You can search my channel for it. We're probably going to have other people's going up soon. There's some of the games are ending. I'm going to try to get the tournament game I'm casting going up soon. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll be announcing more of these as they go live. And yeah, thanks for watching this. And again, check the description for the links. All right, cheers.